What's up guys, before this video gets started I just want to let you know this is a video I did a couple weeks ago, but I never actually uploaded it just because I felt it was kind of similar to some of the videos I had uploaded recently and I didn't want to make it too repetitive. Now I haven't actually got time to get a video out for today, so I thought it makes sense to get this video to you guys. For one, for people who potentially haven't seen me other videos, and for two, anyone who just wants to watch a reaction. I want to make sure I got you a video out today. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy it and have a fantastic day. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I will bring you a brand new reaction video. Today's reaction video is going to be another general one. It's for don'ts of visiting the USA. Now, I have already visited the USA, so I may be a little bit late to do this one, and hopefully I didn't do any of these don'ts. We'll find out and I'll let you know if I did or not, because I suppose these are going to be the disrespectful things not to do, so fingers crossed I didn't do anything which was disrespectful, you know. If you enjoy this video guys, hit that subscribe button if you're new around it. I'd really appreciate it. Let's try and hit 100 likes on this video. And now let's see the don'ts of visiting the USA.
Hey there fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in...
By the way, check his channel out if you want. First time I've checked out Walter's World, but I imagine it's going to be a good one, and it's always nice to support the creators who actually create this content because they put a lot of work into it. So the link to the original video will be in the description, guys.
The US. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the US, because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the US in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the US is don't touch the Americans. Look, okay. Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, we're like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key.
Okay, straight off the bat, I get the fact in like Spain and stuff like that, they are cuddly. They're not, personal space isn't as big of a thing, but not with strangers. I would never go up to a random person in the UK or in America or wherever, or even in Spain, and just give them a hug if I don't know them. If you know them, I think it's similar story, and I imagine, let me know in the comments, but if you know someone in the US, personal space isn't that much of a big deal. Let me know in the comments, guys, let me know.
Second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation.
Okay.
Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't.
Okay, that makes sense, by the way, because it's such a huge place. I was kind of thinking, what's he on about? Because obviously I'd been to New York. In the big cities, it makes sense that it is in there. And in the UK, pretty much everywhere, you've got your transport. But because the US is so big, I imagine it costs billions, if not trillions, to set up public transport everywhere to connect everything. So that makes sense.
What I have for you is, don't underestimate the size of the US.
There we go.
The United
States, huge, man.
Continental US is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I'm going to do, go from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly to New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars.
Pretty much,
the distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home. Just for lunch.
Long.
6 hours in the car.
Way too long.
No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive.
6 hours is okay, just for casual 6 hours, but 7 hours, nah, that is too long for me.
And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. We drive all the way through.
It's a lot of driving,
Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price.
Oh, we've seen this one.
In the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes.
That's insane,
and some
man.
products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's gonna be $1.08. The other one, it's gonna be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax.
Bit of a difference
also,
as well.
there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the US,
we're not going to get over this too much because I have mentioned tipping a lot. I tip all the time. I just don't like being forced to do it. But anyway, we tip. When we went to the US, we made sure we tip whatever they asked for because we're the visitors at the end of the day, but that's how you guys do it. We're coming to your country, trying to enjoy it, so we do what you guys want.
You tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that.
Yeah,
Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and that tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink.
That's something I didn't know. When I went to New York, I wasn't actually 21 yet, so we never actually went. It was just me and my girlfriend, so we never actually went to any bars and had it like that. But I didn't realize you basically tipped as well as you got your drinks just to make sure they came back to you. That is something new to me. I hate the argument that people say that they should just charge me more for my food. I don't want to tip waiters and all that, because that makes a big difference to their pay package anyway, whether the food's expensive or not. They rely on them tips, so definitely tip.
So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice, and they want to help people.
I've been in that crowd.
For some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread. It might be a salad. It might be a...
And by the way, free handcuffs if you drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. I love that.
It might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread. I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal. Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out. All right. You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something.
I mean, I don't smoke, so I don't have too much of a say on it, but like in the UK, you can't smoke inside anyway, and I assumed that was a given here. You just can't smoke in a building. But outside, I don't see the problem with that. Each to their own at the end of the day. I don't personally do it, but I don't get why people moan if people do it outside. Fresh air, end of the day.
So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't. And that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21.
That's mental. That is mental.
Unless you're 18 or over in the U.S. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for
40
that.
or under,
and don't
wow.
be mad at them, because if they don't ask, they can get in trouble and get
Okay,
fined.
that makes sense.
So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one.
Yeah, that's the same in the UK as well. I've been to like the Grand Marché, the co-op shop over here. Just a small convenience shop, or you guys would call it. You go in, you get some beers, and my girlfriend hasn't got her ID. She's still 18, actually older than me. I have my ID, but I cannot physically buy it because she's forgot her ID. It's a nightmare. It's the same in the UK with that.
Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use, we don't use meters. We don't use kilometers. We don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you. But honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay?
Awesome,
so
cheers.
just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here.
Which is very strange, because most of the world don't use what you guys use. We use metric, but end of the day, each their own.
So our next don't is, when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics. Talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now, my next don't for you is, don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European.
It's right. All the Europeans are completely different, and from what I've learned from doing these reaction videos, the US is so diverse, the cultures are so different all over. Definitely not the same, 100%.
Look, the US has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me.
Is that? Oh, I never knew that. No, I'm only joking.
There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is, if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions, because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel,
look at that, man.
Which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here.
I think I definitely want to do just explore different areas in the US. Maybe a road trip. I know you were saying you don't want to do too much of a road trip because you've only got 2 weeks, but you never know. In the future, maybe way in the future, when I'm retired or something, like do a massive US road trip or something like that.
And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't is, don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest, with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different...
If that is the National Museum in New York, I believe it is. I've been there.
Culture here, historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true, because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums, like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that.
Definitely.
Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi.
I'm the same with this. This is on my last video. No one in the comments actually picked it up. I say all right to people. If like all right is basically how are you? How are you doing? but I don't expect them all the time. Sometimes they'll reply to me, but I don't. It's just a hi. All right, mate. You know what I mean? It is. Don't always expect an answer as you're walking past someone. If someone said it to me, I probably would give them that, yeah, I'm alright, as I'm walking past, but you don't always expect it. I completely agree with this one and get it.
Hi, because a lot of people say this. Everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France. Ça va? Ça va. How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's
I'm
just,
learning some European stuff here as well,
you
man.
move on, okay? So
awesome.
Don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Oh, no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So
just to sleep in. That's the only reason you need a hotel, especially when you're exploring like New York. Our hotel was very nice, Rio Plaza. Let me know if anyone's actually been there. Right next to Times Square. It was just a place to sleep. We didn't spend too much time in there. We were too busy wanting to explore New York, do the sightseeing, the amazing architecture there as well. It's just a bed, isn't it? End of the day, you're going to spend minimum hours in there.
So stay at the hotels in the U.S. and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice. So don't expect that from the fancy hotels.
Definitely.
Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut.
I regret
We've been having lobster and clams and oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like.
You guys are telling me clam chowder is amazing. I don't know, after looking at it, I don't know, but you guys are telling me it's amazing.
More. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue.
Nice.
Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants? So you can go there and check out those places because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out.
Awesome.
And that is really kind of a cool thing. Now,
Definitely
my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look,
okay.
Healthcare in the U.S. is
mental. Yeah, I completely agree with this.
Insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has...
I thought it had 52 states. I honestly did. I did my iconic food 50 state favourites, and before I did it, I had to search up how many states the US got, because I thought the video got it wrong. I can't believe it's not just me. I never mentioned it because I felt like an absolute idiot. It's not just me who thinks 52. I've heard 52 before. Maybe from friends. I don't know. Yeah, okay.
52 states. Look. Don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that
52
when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are...
Let me know if any of you guys know where 52 has come from, because I honestly thought 52 before I did that video. Let me know, guys. I'd appreciate that.
Don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S. just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. And we really like helping travelers with honest travel advice.
Awesome. If you guys enjoyed that video and want to check out some of the videos he just suggested, go and check the channel out. The link will be in the description, guys, for the original video. I really enjoyed this one. I knew quite a few of them, and I don't think I did any of them in the US when I was there, which is very good. So I wasn't too disrespectful when I was there. Tried to be as respectful as possible. You're visiting a new country. It's also for your sake as well. You want to do everything right because you're a long way from home, especially when we were 19 when we went. So you're quite young. Far from home, you don't want to upset anyone, you just want to do it by the book and be be respectful, if that makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Something different. I really enjoyed it. I now know when I go to the US what to do and what not to do. Have a fantastic day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.